Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here to discuss something we discussed previous on the channel, but there's always slight updates to it, and that of course is my top video game list, my 15 favorite games essentially that I've played, and that's always slightly shifting, and it's cool to give it an update. It's something we last updated back July of 2019, so it's close to almost a year. We're a few months off from that. So I figure let's give that an update. So I got my phone here with the list on it. Went through and slightly updated it, and yeah. So first of all, though, before we get into the top 15, we do have a couple other games to discuss that are not on the top 15 list that I felt like you know they're good games, and I really like them. So here we go. So we have three here. For number 18, we have NASCAR 15. For the Xbox 360, that's what I played it on. That's what we'll be doing. I'll be listing this console that I played the game on. NASCAR 15, which is fun to play in like a league type setting online. So that's where that is for me. Not a top 15 game, but that type of thing just made it really, really fun to play. Number 17, Mario Kart Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash is definitely a fun game to play for the GameCube, but there's definitely other Mario Kart games that I like more other than Double Dash. But again, that game was really, really fun. One of the first games that I really remember playing was that game. Number 16, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu for the Switch. That came out in 2018. That was pretty fun to do, sort of a combination between Pokemon Go and then a main series game, sort of combine that together, and it was really, really fun to play on the Switch. So that's that. So now we get into the top 15. We have two new games on the list. Well, one of them isn't new, but two games on the list that were not on the last time we did it. So number 15, one of our new entries to the list, NASCAR 2005 Chase of the Cup for the GameCube. That game, like, I really, really enjoyed playing it. I think that game was very, very, like, it was cool. At the time, I played it in, like, I don't know, 2006, 2007, something like that. It was very fun to play. Just overall, like, I don't know. There's something about it that it's one of those things that I just remember playing as a kid that I really just enjoyed. I know racing against my dad a lot in that. We used to always, always race in that, and it was very, very fun to just do some of the tracks. I know we used to always race in Martinsville and Bristol, and sometimes if you set a crash off right, it would just like pile up in a corner. It was so much fun just to play those games, and those are just so good NASCAR games. You can really ask anybody that played the old NASCAR games. I think 2003, 4, and 5 were like the best three collectively, as everybody sort of agrees on that. So for me, playing NASCAR 2005 was very cool. And for some reason, I just didn't put it on my list previously, so that's why it's there number 15 now. Next up, number 14, the newest game on this list is Pokemon Sword for the Switch. So Pokemon Sword was definitely not a game that I thought would ever be on my top list. But playing through it a few weeks ago, it just turned out to be like such a good game, and it was so much better than I thought it would be, so much better than a lot of people give it credit for being. And I really, really, really enjoyed that game, and I think that just a lot of the stuff with it, like it was so well done. I think the whole way you went around the gym challenge a little bit differently. Like you had to, you know, it was more in a battle atmosphere instead of just like you battling a dude in a room. Like it was a big arena and people watching it. It was so cool to do that. And a lot of the Pokemon are actually pretty cool that are in that game. So definitely a fun game to play. Way better than I thought it would be. And I think way better than a lot of people give it credit for being. Number 13 on our list, Fallout 4. Played that on the PlayStation 4. We did a lot of that on the channel back in 2015, 2016. I loved building in that game. That's one of the things I love about video games. I love playing games that are either racing games and building. Those are the two things that I really like to play. So to play that and to build bases and stuff to sort of get people to come bring supplies. That was what I loved. I didn't really play much of the story, but just the building of the bases was so cool. I love doing that. And again, getting supplies and stuff, and really also being the first game and really only game that I've messed with mods in that much because they allowed mods on the PlayStation 4, which is not a common thing. Uh, modding on consoles is not typically a thing that happens, so I'll be able to experience that. It's very, very cool. Next on the list, number 12, is Pokemon X for the 3DS. Pokemon X was the first 3D version of Pokemon, the first one on the 3DS, which didn't use much of the 3D, which is fine because that part was whack. But I don't know, that game. There was a lot of cool things about it. I can't really pick out one thing from that sixth generation. Honestly, was pretty good. There's a lot of good legendaries, or a really good legendary in Xerneas. Good starter. Greninja is one of my favorite Pokemon at the moment, and has been for a while. Um, Mega Evolution, the coolest of the features that they've added into the game. Mega Evolution, Z moves, and Dynamax. I think that's what it's called, or Gigamax. One of the two. I don't remember which one is which. They're both the Pokemon becomes bigger, but one of them changes form and one of them doesn't. But either way, of those three things they added in, that's the best one. Mega Evolution's so cool, and I just love so much about sixth gen, and Pokemon X is that game that I played from that. Next up, Mario Super Sluggers for the Wii. Mario Super Sluggers, I loved playing that game. Mario, baseball, pretty fun. I had some good teams. I always had Peach, and then I had Baby DK. He was a wild pitcher. Dude was always out there with the heat. So I remember about the team, and it was so much fun just to play, and the little bit of the story that I did to just unlock the stadium. It's so cool to have different places, the different stadiums in the game that were really, really based on different Mario things, and it's a shame they haven't released another Mario baseball game since Mario Super Sluggers of 2008. So it's been 12 years. So it'd be really cool to see one on the Switch, but who knows? Um, Next up, we have Mario Kart 64. Now, this game obviously was for the N64, but I played on the Virtual Console on the Wii. Uh, I loved playing Mario Kart 64. By far, like my second favorite Mario Kart game that I played. That game was so much fun to play, and I just love. I don't know. I think the old Mario things are really cool. So to play a Mario game, that came out in 1996, I believe. That game was very, very cool. Just to see it was so much more basic, but it was still way better than the basic versions of the one on the Game Boy or the NES or whatever SNES versions. Mario Kart 64 is really the first, I think, good Mario Kart game, and that game was so much fun. Some of the best tracks are there. Royal Raceway's there. The Rainbow Road and N64s are really wild. To see on the length of that track. Bowser Castle. There's so many good tracks, and even if there's only 8 drivers instead of 12 or whatever it is now, it's still very, very fun. Speaking of Mario Kart, number 9, we have Mario Kart Wii, of course, for the Wii. Mario Kart Wii, it was cool just because that was the first Mario game that there was the first Mario Kart at least, where there was just a million characters to choose from. The other one, I think Mario Kart DS had a decent amount, but it was not the same area. This game had, I don't know how many was there, seemed like 25, 30 characters, but there was just so many characters to choose from and so many carts, and it was the first time there was like a real lot of that stuff and a bunch of good tracks in the game. Again, like some of the ones that I said for the N64, they were in it. Like Bowser Castle was in that game, but even that game had really good tracks itself. But I think for like track wise, Mario Kart Wii had the best track list. Also for just the fact that was one that I played with my family so much. We would always do competitions and like different things like that. We'd always do different Mario Kart playing things in 2008 and like 2009. We just played it together so often. It was so much fun. And that's just such a cool memory attached to that game that it's here on this list. Now we get into the Pokemon area of our list. 8, 7, and 6 are all Pokemon games. So first, starting at number 8, we have Pokemon Platinum. Pokemon Platinum was... Like, these three are so hard to put in order. It's always changing, like, which one I think of. So for these three games, it really is hard to say. But Pokemon Platinum was so much fun. I just love the amount of stuff that was in that game. 4th gen, probably my favorite generation for Pokemon. Like 4th gen, I feel like is when Pokemon really like peaked. You can maybe say 5th gen, there was a little bit of like the game still being decent. So was 6th, but like 4th was like the prime time. That was really when I got into playing Pokemon 4th gen. Because I got into it in 2010. So right when Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, I'd gotten into playing it, and I got Pokemon Platinum, and I played that game so much, and I have so much time into it. It's probably one of the games that I have the most time in, playing wise. Like it's got to be up there on the list of like, you know, how much I played it, and there was just so much to do with that game for the like year and a half that I really put time into it. 2010, even 2011 when Black and White were out, like I was still playing that game a little bit. And I just remember like some of the cities and going to get like there's one place you go every single day and get a ribbon, and I have all those ribbons on Typhlosion, which I still have. And I was just chilling in Pokemon Home. But there's like so many cool things that game did. Like it's wild. It is wild how much fun I have with that game. Always take on the Elite Four in that, and had the best evil team, Team Galactic by far the best evil team of Pokemon. So there's so many cool things that were in that game, and I just loved playing it. But there's 2 Pokemon games that are above it. Next up, we have Pokemon Black 2, which came out on the DS as well. That is number 7 on our list. So Pokemon Black 2. What does it say about Pokemon Black 2? Well, Pokemon Black was very fun. Okay. Let's start with saying that. Pokemon Black was a really fun game. But Pokemon Black 2, like, took it to another level. They added a little bit more areas to go. It was just cool to see, like, the fact that they changed the starting point of the game. Because always the second version, like the new version of the game, up until that point had been you start at the same area, you can do the same thing. You know, it was always very similar. Pokemon Yellow, you start in the same town. Pokemon Silver, you start in the same town. Pokemon Emerald, you start in the same place. Pokemon Platinum, you start in the same place. It was very similar. But Black 2 was the first time I started messing with things being really a different story. Because, you know, in those previous games, those last 4 I mentioned, Platinum, Emerald, Silver, Yellow, they're all kind of similar. It's just you're chasing something a little bit different, or you're playing a little different way. In Pokemon Yellow, you start with a Pikachu instead of picking your starter, and you know your rival had an Eevee, that type of thing. And then, you know, next thing you're going and trying to get Suicune and stuff like that. And then Emerald, you're getting Rayquaza as both the teams are battling against each other with Kyogre and Groudon, and then in Platinum, you're going to get Giratina instead of Dialga and Palkia. So it was very similar, but this game, there was like an actual noticeable like difference. The evil team had sort of like, you know, Team Plasma had sort of redone their goals and it was the second part of the team that was like going against the first part of the team. They kind of like split, and then the stuff they did with like Kyurem Black and Kyurem White with the DNA splicers getting Kyurem to fuse with Zekrom and Reshiram. Like it was so cool just to see how much of a difference there was in that game, and it was an improvement for Pokemon Black and White. So that's why Black 2 is where it is. Very, very hard to play. But the number one Pokemon game on our list, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire for the 3DS. Now, as much as I said I loved 4th gen, 3rd gen to me was like, well, 3rd and 4th gen kind of blend together because I started playing them at the same time. Because the first Pokemon game that I played was Pokemon Sapphire in 2010, and then I was getting Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Platinum. So, really playing Platinum at the same time that I started playing Sapphire just a couple months earlier sort of blend together, but at the time they did. But, and they honestly still kind of do. But Pokemon Alpha Sapphire was just like, it took the best from 6th gen, which is Mega Evolution, and added it to such a fun region to play in, which is Hoenn. Like, that region's so cool. Like, of all the regions, I gotta put, like, Hoenn and then Sinnoh as the two coolest. And, you know, going through that game and sort of getting to finally sort of play Sapphire, like, because Alpha Sapphire came out, what, 2014? So it had been 4 years since I got into Pokemon, and Pokemon Sapphire, like, the battery died in the cartridge or something stupid. So I couldn't actually finish playing that game. So it was like the first time that I really got to play through Pokemon Sapphire, and I had gotten so much into, like, playing the games already that when we got to Alpha Sapphire, it was a very, very fun experience to get to actually play a version of Sapphire with added in features like Mega Evolution and Fairy types, which I think are some really, really cool things. The other thing I forgot to mention about Pokemon X was the addition of Fairy types into the game. So, like, that's the thing. Like, the addition of this stuff was just like so cool when you sort of combine some of the really cool new features into such an old, awesome game, update it, and just it's so awesome. All right, number 5 on our list. The second newest game on this list as well. One that we play quite a lot on the channel though is F1 2019 for the PlayStation 4. Now F1 2019 is actually going to be the highest up racing game on this list as well. So, like I said, I've always loved racing games. I grew up playing different NASCAR games, NASCAR 2005, I think NASCAR 2008, 14, 15. So I've always played NASCAR games, and I always loved watching NASCAR. But getting into Formula One in the last year, of course, I had to play the game. So I got F1 2018 like a few weeks before 2019 came out. So great purchase there. But F1 2019 was just like, for me, it's been out for almost a year now. I think in sports games, they have a course of a year. But that game's just so, like, I don't know, it's so cool to play, and it's by far the most well done racing game I've ever played of anything, and of any racing game. And I don't typically get hyped about graphics of games. It's not something that I ever really just like, oh my god, the graphics of this game are so amazing. Like, actually talk about it. Like, I'll be like, oh, they look cool. You know, every game you notice the improvement, but like to actually look at F1 2019, this the look of it, it's such a well done game, and by far, like, graphically probably the best of all the ones on this list. Like, I just love to look at that game, and I don't know, it's been so much fun to play F1 2019. I really enjoy it. That's why it's top 5 on my list. I don't really know what else to say about it, but it's just really high up. It's so fun doing one of the games that I just do play quite frequently, even when I'm not recording a video or just whatever. Like, I've had a lot of fun sitting down doing races in that game. Number 4. This game is called Overwatch, and I played it on the PlayStation 4. Now, Overwatch is it's interesting. I guess that's what we'll say. A very interesting game. Overwatch. I used to really love playing Overwatch, and that's why I still have on the list because of how much I used to like to play it. I did get back into playing it for a little bit at the beginning of this year, but in general, before they started making all these changes like role queue and map pools and just general character changes, like back in 2017 when I really got into playing that game, it was just so much fun. It was what I wanted to play all the time, and yeah, it's I'm fortunate to see it go so far down from where it used to be as a game a couple years ago. But overall, Overwatch is just it was one of those games that I loved to play for so long and really high on my list for a while, and it still is just off the thing of what that game was and what they could have made it. Like they could have made it so much cooler than they did. Overwatch League came out and kind of just tanked the game. Um, Number three is one of my all-time favorite games, and until the past couple years, the past year or two, really when I sat down and thought about this more, this game was my favorite game, and I always said my favorite game I ever played is Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out on the Wii in 2010. Um, I still probably got the disc in that closet or on that shelf over there, but Mario Galaxy was just like I always loved the 3D Mario World games like that, Mario 64. I didn't really play Mario Sunshine, but that style as well. Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Odyssey, the newest one, like that style of game, I've always just loved playing. And Super Mario Galaxy 2 was just like there's so much you could do and the whole like going different planets and space and all that stuff. It was just so amazing. At that time in 2010, I remember how excited I was when it was coming out. This is about four video games were $60 too. This is when video games are only 50. Um, throw that out there. Video games used to be cheaper. I remember I had $50. I don't remember if I got it at GameStop or Target, one of the two. But I remember I was so excited at school, like that whole day. I was just waiting to go to the store to buy it, and I used to get picked up from school by my mom before I went to high school. So in high school, I took the bus to school, but before, I was get picked up every day. And I remember being so excited when my mom came to pick me up. We just had to go to the store right away, obviously. And I remember going to the hill from school, walking to the car, and I was just so excited to be out of school. And just that time driving from school to the store was just like, I was so excited. And then I had to wait to get home, and I was just sitting on the couch for like the entire day, the rest of that night, playing the game. And the next day I came home from school and did the same thing. Um, that's the thing. Like I just remember like when you're. That's one thing about video games. Like when you're little, you just get so, or just like things in general, you just get so much more. I feel excited about stuff. Like oh, I can't wait for this to come out, and oh, I'm so like, ooh, so ready. But I mean, there's things that come out that you're like, oh, that's cool, but it's coming out, and I'll be ready when it comes out. Like say F1 2020, that game got announced, and I'm very excited for it, but I'm not just like every day just thinking consistently when it's coming out. When you're little, I think I don't know, do that more. Things that are like bigger. Because I guarantee you, if it was like 2009, 2010, and the new F1 game was coming out, say I liked F1 at that time, I would be so excited that it was coming out. But, or, say now I was the age that I was then, I'd be like, oh, F1 2020, ah. But I'm just like, cool, it's coming out. I'm excited, but there's a little bit different hype to it. But still, Mario Galaxy just had that vibe of just being so excited about it. and just playing it was such an amazing game. Apparently, there's rumors that they could be making a version of it for the 30th anniversary of Mario on the Switch. That happens, your boy will be playing it. Number two on the list, though, I'll play this game on the PlayStation 4 as well. We played it on the channel. I pick it on my phone because I've been doing it for every single thing. You know, I already read it. It's Minecraft. Now, Minecraft is a game that I got into playing in February of 2019 when the whole Minecraft hype really started. Actually, it was before the Minecraft hype. The Minecraft hype started in like April last year, April or May. But I did start playing it for the same meme that everybody else did. Just did it before the meme was popular. So the whole meme was let's play Minecraft because Fortnite's trash, which was a thing. But I was also looking for games to play, and I thought Minecraft could be cool. Let's play Minecraft. At the same time as saying there's no good games, so everybody plays Fortnite. So let's play Minecraft. I did, and I thought Minecraft is so fun. I love building things, like I've mentioned. So the worlds that I have built in Minecraft are just so cool, and I just love the fact of all the different things that I build and seeing what I built. It's awesome. It is so cool. And again, I love building things. I love just being like creative with stuff, and there's so many cool things to build and do in Minecraft. And I'm just disappointed that I didn't play it earlier, and I bought into the hype of Minecraft being a bad game when it's one of my favorite games that I've ever played now. So that's a thing. But yeah, Minecraft very fun to play. Number one on our list. Only game on this list that I played on multiple consoles. That is GTA 5. I played on the Xbox 360 and on the PlayStation 4. So GTA 5. Ooh, what do we got to say about GTA 5? There's a lot to say about this game, I guess. First of all, it's set in LA, which is really cool. We'll start with that. Secondly, there's just so many different things to do. There's so many cool like vehicles to drive, and there's always something different you could do. And just all the times I played it with the meme has been really fun. That's something we just play together so often. I think it's probably the most played game I've ever played. I remember playing it since 2014 because I think it came out in 13. I didn't buy it the year it came out, but I remember playing it in 2014. I'm pretty sure when I started it. But that game has just been it's been so cool to play, and it went through a time where it was definitely lame. They definitely added in like so much stuff that's way overpriced, and once there was ways of making money in the game again, um, it became fun. So if you can access the content, it's really fun to play. Yeah, there's just so much to do in GTA, and we've had so much fun playing on the channel. Like race boats have been fun. Just random videos in general have been so cool to play, and I've loved playing it for quite a while on the channel and just in general, and that's why it's number one. There's just so many things that I did with it, so many different memories attached to it from the Xbox 360 days, and we would prepare for the heist by finding a little hideout and picking out a vehicle and saying this is our heist room, to the newest thing, driving F1 cars in the game and racing those around. Like everything in between there, buying yachts was like, it was a while when yachts first came out. That was the first really expensive thing. And every update buying new supercars, and then the big heist, the Doomsday, whatever it was called. That heist was absolutely insane. I remember playing it till 5 in the morning and not beating it, and then beating it the next day. Like that heist was absolutely wild. There's just so many cool updates, so many cool things, and again, racing in that game is so much fun. Um, Very different from the racing games, and it's not really a racing game, but the racing portion they do put a lot of emphasis on in the game, and that stuff is really fun to do. So yeah, that is that. So that is our top 15 games list with the three honorable mentions. So I hope you guys enjoyed, because I know I did. Our update here to the top games on the list. My top 15 games. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one.